Growing takes time. Ranch Systems has the tools to help you quickly get the information you need so you can get on with your day. Check your water, crop status, and weather from real sensors in your field. To learn more, contact us today.
Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Ag Network reporting to you here in Madera with Nick Davis. He's an almond and wine grape grower in Madera. I wanted to talk about groundwater recharge. We just had a meeting. You opened your farm to a group of farmers to talk about your groundwater recharge experience on farm, right? So we got to witness you flood irrigating the vineyard at a time when, well, normally you wouldn't necessarily need to be irrigating, just relying on some of the rain as we're just getting into leaf out and all that, right, with the vineyard.
Right. Yep. So this is a fantastic year for groundwater recharge. Our family business has participated in recharge a little in 2019. We probably recharged about 100, just over 100 acre feet. And then this year we decided with that little experience, we're going to go full bore because we didn't know how much water we had available to us. We started recharging January 9th of this year, and we've probably recharged just over 2,200 acre feet, and that's pretty significant for our family business on what little property we farm. One farm in particular that we just came from, we have recharged 8 acre feet per acre, which is pretty significant for us. It's in a surface water district, but we're really happy to be a part of it. We honestly, frankly, don't know what we're doing, but what we do know is that water is really important to put back in the ground, and so we're making every effort, despite the challenges, to do so.
That's amazing. And being in Madera Irrigation District, right? You're getting the water for free, right? It's not an additional cost for the time being. And the story is yet, to be completed here because we still got some time. We're still going to get some more water. How far do you expect to go with this? Flooding the vineyard. Obviously, you have tasks and things that you need to do on the vineyard in the spring. What can you say to that?
Well, our plan is to go as long as we possibly can. We do have challenges with getting our vineyard sprayers into the vineyard or orchard sprayers in the orchard. But like I mentioned earlier, there are challenges, but we're so motivated to get the water back in the ground on a year like this that we're sort of turning a blind eye to the activities necessary to kind of get through the year where we can. We don't really have a great plan. There's no guideline. We're sort of just going for it. But we're just going to do the best we can to just put as much water in the ground as possible, whether it's free or costs money. That's the plan right now for us and for our neighbors.
So even if it means, this extra water going under these vines, making huge canopies, as a potentially impact yields in the near future, for good or for bad, you're going for it, right? Banking on it. This is our time, right? To seize the day and capture and ground a lot of this water, get it down into your groundwater supply for the future.
Right. So I think, there's an old saying, we worry 95% of the stuff that we are worrying about, we shouldn't worry about. So I know we have, from a grapevine physiological standpoint, if we have a massive canopy, that's going to possibly hinder bud differentiation in the summertime to help us, so the plant decides how much crop to have the following year. Shading out those spur positions is going to be a problem, but is it going to be a problem, right? So let the data present itself the following year, and again, if we can do what we can this year to put the water back in the ground, we'll just solve that problem later. I guess that's the plan, because drought's going to come again. This is an awesome opportunity year to have as much water as we do, but we're going to worry about that down the road.
Yeah, and then there's some other benefits as well, like you pulling out those old flood systems, right, that you may not have used in a long time. Right. Rodent control. You mentioned in our conversation earlier that, some of that water may have gotten a little past, but, through going through gopher holes and mounds and stuff. Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, gophers are problems in most cropping systems, and we do till in our vineyard operations or systems, and we also have cover crop, and those are perfect environments for gophers. And when we flood in the springtime, the water gets so deep that it floods out and drowns out gophers, and they surface, and now they're susceptible to barn owls or any other predators that are out there that are going to attack gophers. So I think it's good to change things up. In a very good integrated pest management program, you'd have a barn owl box or many barn owl boxes on the cropping system to help kind of take care of those issues of gophers in any cropping system, really.
And that's just one side benefit that you get on top of all of this, right?
Right.
And the cover crops are handling getting flooded pretty well. I mean, you might have to do some extra mowing, I take it, maybe during the season?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, a lot of our vineyards are drip irrigated. And so when you go into the winter time, you don't know what to anticipate as far as rainfall, right? And typically we don't get a lot, right? So spending the money on planting a cover crop, you're really gambling on if you're going to have rainfall to not only germinate your seed, but also will there be enough rainfall to carry through to have a nice stand,
Right.
healthy crop, cover crop. 2 years ago, we planted a cover crop on all of our vineyards. Last year, we selectively just did a few, but we had some regenerative cover crop come up from the year before, and it was a great year for that to happen because, we had a lot of water this year. So we had a cover crop, but not intentional, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so cool. Really appreciate the great work that you're doing. I mean, I know you're going into this not having all the answers, but we'll see, down the road how things go. But the one thing you do know is that this is going to bring water back into our groundwater supply, which is, you're living as a great example, I think, to other farmers and with the future in mind. You've got kids that spend a lot of time on the farm too, and that it's for them, right, in the long run.
The best thing that we could do is support each other and support the effort to farm as long as we possibly can. The odds are against us in many different ways, but this is an opportunity for us this year in 2023 to put water back in the ground. We don't know what 2024, 2025, and thereafter is going to bring us, but this is that year to come together, and we have a lot of year left because there's so much water yet to come down the pipeline from our snowpack. So call your neighbor, call somebody with experience, talk out loud about what you can do as a grower to put water back in the ground. There are challenges, but get through it now so that when Groundwater 2.0 shows up, you can really capitalize for yourself, but also for your neighbor and ultimately for your farming community.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Read more about these things in our magazine, and we will be featuring the Davis family in the upcoming issue of American Vineyards, so be on the lookout. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.